You know, the other day I was at work, minding my own business, brewing the best darn coffee in town. Picture this, a quaint, cozy little coffee shop, where the smell of freshly ground beans is almost intoxicating. There I was, the maestro of mochas, the sultan of espressos, well, you get the point. My day was as ordinary as a plain bagel, nothing to write home about. I was just navigating the usual sea of caffeine-craving customers, dodging the occasional, extra hot, skinny, double-shot caramel, no-foam soy latte order. I was knee-deep in coffee grinds and croissant crumbs, serving up smiles and caffeine fixes like it was my job, because, well, it was. And then out of nowhere she walks in. And by she, I mean my sister. Now I hadn't seen my sister in years. She's the kind of woman who pops up when you least expect it, like a pop-up ad on a dodgy website. You see, my sister and I were like two peas in a pod, two very different peas. I'm the kind of pea that likes routine, predictability, and a good cup of coffee. Now my sister, she's the other pea, the one that's been shot out of a pea shooter, zigzagging unpredictably and leaving a trail of chaos in her wake. And just like those annoying pop-up ads that always seem to appear when you're in the middle of something important, my sister has a knack for showing up at the most inconvenient of times. Take for instance that one time when we were kids. I was about to make the winning move in a high-stakes game of chess with the neighborhood champion. Just as I was about to declare checkmate, who should come bounding into the room but my sister, tripping over the chessboard and sending pieces flying in every direction. The game was ruined and my moment of glory was lost. Or that other time when I was on a first date with a girl I really liked. We were having a great time, laughing and enjoying our dinner. Suddenly, my sister showed up at our table, drenched from the rain, mascara running down her face, demanding my date's dessert because she had a sugar emergency. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my sister. She keeps life interesting, to say the least. But you can imagine my surprise when, in the middle of my shift at the coffee shop, as I'm poring over a latte art of a swan for a particularly picky customer, I hear a familiar voice. I look up, and who do I see? My sister, of course. After years of no contact, there she was, standing in line for a cup of coffee like she hadn't just dropped into my life out of nowhere. I had to do a double take. I mean, what are the odds, right? There I was, standing behind the counter, steam rising from the espresso machine, when in walks my sister. But let me tell you, this was no ordinary family surprise. Let's just say, my attention was so divided that a coffee catastrophe was brewing, and I was the unsuspecting barista. So, I'm chatting with my sister, right? All the while, I'm still trying to keep up with the orders. A guy at the counter asks for a cappuccino. Simple enough, I get to work, still half engaged in our conversation. I'm pulling the espresso shot, I'm steaming the milk, I'm doing the whole barista ballet. But somehow in the midst of my surprise family reunion and coffee conjuring, I've managed to mix up my steps. Now, instead of the usual cappuccino routine, I've poured the steamed milk into the espresso machine, and the rich, dark espresso into the milk pitcher. I look down, puzzled, just as I'm about to deliver what might be the world's first backward cappuccino. The customer, a regular, looks at me with an amused smirk. "Trying something new today, are we?" he quips. My sister, meanwhile, is laughing so hard she's practically crying. I'm standing there holding a milk-filled espresso machine and a pitcher of espresso, just shaking my head. Well, that's a new one, I admit, chuckling at my own blunder. But you know what the funny thing is? That customer, he took it in stride. He laughed, said he'd always wondered what a reverse cappuccino would taste like, and asked if he could try it. So, I served it up and he took a sip. And would you believe it? He actually liked it. So there you have it, folks. Just another day in the life of a barista. You never know who might walk in for a cup of joe.